There was this poem I heard a long time ago that always really stuck with me because there was a pretty cool message at the core of it. It was called The Cookie Thief. And essentially the idea was it was a woman who was waiting for her flight at the airport terminal. And she's reading a book and she has a box of cookies next to her. And every time she reaches in and grabs a cookie while she's reading her book, this stranger sitting next to her, this man, he'll reach in and grab a cookie too and eat one. Every single time she does. And every time he does it, she's like, oh my God, like, this jerk, like, if only I wasn't this nice, I wouldn't let him get away with this. Like, she's biting her tongue, she's not saying anything, but every single time she takes one of the cookies out of the box and eats it, this random guy, also does it. And the whole time she's holding on to all this resentment. She's like, ooh, if I wasn't so nice, I'd knock this guy out, I'd give him a piece of my mind, blah, blah, blah. Essentially, it gets down to the very last cookie in the box. And she kind of looks at him and looks down at the cookie, and he kind of nervously smiles and laughs and like grabs the cookie and breaks it in half and gives her the other half. And in her mind, once again, she's like, oh my God, the audacity of this man. Like, if only I wasn't so nice, blah, 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 blah. She's so offended. So she eats the half of the cookie, then her flight gets called. She goes to get on the plane, irritated. She's like, thank God I never have to see that guy again, blah, blah, blah. And then she's getting onto the flight and she reaches into her bag and she pulls out her box of cookies. And it suddenly dawns on her that those were not her cookies and that this man was actually sharing with her. And it was sort of this concept of like, how many times in our life have we been the cookie thief, where we're so certain on something when we actually have maybe a skewed perspective or a missing piece of information. And we're so dead set on basically being a victim without actually having the full picture. And it's great, it's a great way to just kind of keep in mind, like, maybe there is some room for the possibility that you don't actually know everything, or that you don't actually have all the pieces to something. And it's just good to be more mindful of that.